viewpoints and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final council episode of Scarefest Weekend 2024. Just a little something we threw together because we had the date open. Brandon is with me tonight. Adrian could not be with us tonight because she's under the weather. This has just become an entire thing. We're just like dropping like flies, Brandon. I've been sick this is going on 3 weeks that I've still had tinges of it. Maybe 4. May or may not have been COVID. Who knows?
Well, I'm still recuperating from the Christmas party and Adam's debauchery, which was, don't get me wrong, it was fun, but I'm too old to have that much fun.
That shows how sick I was. I missed the Christmas party, everyone. Out there I missed a chance to drink. I was that sick. Even now, I might just have to stop and blow my nose or cough or whatever. It's just, it comes and goes. Although I went to the doctor today. What's the kidney guy called? Phrenologist?
That's correct.
Ah, okay. Nephrology. He says, this pretty much leave me alone. Just, why do you keep coming in here? And I'm like, because I'm a 60-some-year-old white male who's a few pounds overweight, and I watched the TV commercial, and it said that I'm diabetic.
Well, I have the body of an 80-year-old, so I don't even want to go to the doctor. I'm pretty sure just my labs would just come back as like, you need every ologist, and you might as well just clear your calendar for a year.
Now I had a new one today. He's and so I had to give him my entire medical history from the heart attack forward, and he's like, "What do you mean it wasn't a very bad heart attack?" And what do you mean you're running 5Ks now? And so it was just a whole thing. But my kidneys are in good shape. I'm basically, he said, I've got some number that as long as it doesn't change, go fuck yourself. That's just pretty much, he was happy with it. And of course, I've got the glorious winter beard going. That's something, I don't know, why don't you do that, Brandon?
Because I'm so ingrained with redneck DNA that it only grows in patches, and technically it won't even grow at all. Like, I haven't shaved in like 2 weeks.
See, I'm looking at you all bundled up there, all snuggled up in your little onesie pajamas or whatever it is you're wearing there. You look like your house is cold, and I'm thinking if that man just had a full beard, you would be so much more comfortable.
Okay, look, my house is cold as hell, cold as the Antarctic or whatever, because like it was built in the 1930s, and it sucks, and I'm freezing, and I don't have a onesie on, and I can't grow a beard. I have 2 chest hairs, and that's pretty much it.
Wood pellet stove, that's what you
Yes, get a wood pellet stove. The good thing is they will keep your house warm. The bad thing is if the air temperature outside gets over 50 degrees, it'll get your house extra warm. There is no offset thermostat on it. They're hot.
See, I'm just going to invest in a Saint Bernard with a with a barrel around its neck, like in the old Bugs Bunny cartoon. And if I get frozen, he'll come and like drop a little thing in my mouth, and then I'll warm up just like Daffy Duck.
The good thing about our wood pellet stove is that because it just runs constantly, you quit worrying about things like the door being left open. You know, if the dog takes an extra 5 minutes pissing in the yard, you don't mind standing there letting all your heat out because you know there's plenty of it. There's just plenty of it. So what do we got? What can we tell the people about Scarefest? Let's get on business now. What do we know anything?
Well,
Do we have any
so-
dates set, ticket dates, anything?
We're going back and forth. I mean, the ticket dates and the vendor dates are probably going to be the same as they were last year. We're going to increase the number of VIP tickets that are sellable, I think, this year. Which I think a lot of people were asking for because they sell out so quick the last few years. And I think last year we started kicking everything off on February 1st. That's kind of what I'm looking at doing a repeat this year. We may start the vendor stuff a little bit earlier, but we'll give everybody plenty of heads up. We're kind of still, I've got to work on the website tonight and kind of reset everything. I've put it off for a month while I just kind of lick my wounds and sleep and then focus on my 9-to-5 job. So yeah, like getting the, hats up on the site and the online store and some of the shirts, in addition to, what we're doing with, the retro vintage shirts and stuff that, Adrian has put out there. So yeah, as far as the center, we met with them for quite a while and obviously went through, a lot of the stuff that I had talked about in my postmortem and, what we were looking at in terms of space and where we were going to put stuff and kind of, how to do lines and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not even going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, but, we can say that, we're taking everything on the first floor, hold on, let me back up. So when I say, level 3 is where the expo hall is. So we've got all 3 of those rooms again. And then we're taking all 8 of the meeting rooms on the second floor. And then on the first floor, we're taking the 3, what they call them, ballrooms.
Yeah.
On that floor.
So basically at this point, we've got everything except Rupp Arena, which is dead space, everybody. Quit asking about Rupp Arena. And the acoustic dead zone that was our photo op area last year on level 2.
Yeah, I'm definitely staying out of that area. And, just to remind everybody, the only reason that we ended up doing that was because they had something in the meeting rooms. Otherwise, we would have redone that entire area. But this year, we've grown to the size that we need to take those downstairs rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to work out a lot better for us. Where everything's going to fall at, we haven't really decided yet. I'm still very much of the mindset that I don't like. So the rooms that I'm talking about on the first floor are the ones that Lexington Comic Con uses. And they put their celebrities in that room. I'm still not, I'm not splitting the floor. I just don't want to do that. I want to keep everybody still on that level. So we're trying to decide, what to use those rooms for. And they're pretty sizable. I know, one thing that we had tossed around was moving the large panels down there because the panels have gotten, Joe and them and Katie, do just amazing jobs with it. So it's gotten to where we can't pack them in there anymore on the second floor. And so we'll probably end up doing that on the first. So I'm excited about that space. I'm excited to see what we can come up with down there. Because I think it opens up a lot of possibilities.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's just getting into the minutia of, how we want to work stuff around. But I still, celebrities have to be close to photo ops because that was the problem that we got into, this year was that, folks were doing so well at their tables, like they didn't want to leave to go to photo ops and going to the second floor. I mean, is like, you might as well just be out in Hawaii. Like the photo ops have to be as close to the celebrities as possible so they can bebop over there and bebop back. And it may not seem like a long stride to the second floor, but trust me, it is. So yeah, we got to sort that out. The vendor layout and everything, we looked at that and we're reformatting the floor. not to, not to move a whole lot of stuff around. It's going to stay pretty much the same because like we like that design. It's worked well for us since we've started doing it. We're just going to kind of clean it up a little bit where everything is symmetrical. Like one side doesn't have like an extra booth or something here, and like so it's going to line up a lot better. I like the front of the house the way it was, as far as like the cars and the way those booths are set up and the seating area and everything. I guess the big change on the floor as of right now anyway would be that, so back where the Cenobites were this year on the back right side, we had a lot of vendor booths in there and stuff. So like where Gorgeous Girls was, and some of those guys. And so we're going to take those booths, we're going to expand into celebrities and kind of open that up a little bit, I think. And we can move those guys, like vendor booths can come down. We're going to try to increase the end caps at the front, which I think works out for folks. I'm not going to increase the vendor size, I don't think, next year. We may, at least like the retail and artist spaces and stuff like that, I'm going to keep it about the same. So any extra space, I'm not going to put vendors on the first floor, split all that up. I mean, one thing I would really like to get to at some point is separating out like some of the tattoo stuff. Because those guys, the problem with it being on the floor, and if anybody has an opinion, I'd love to hear it, is that sometimes the tattoos can go past the show hours. And so having them on the main con floor makes it a little bit difficult because they have to stop when the show stops. So if somebody's sitting there getting inked and the doors closed, like, you've got tattoo people kind of rushing and nobody wants that. And I mean, we'll keep it open for people to finish up, so nobody's like half done or anything. But taking it off the main floor, I think, works a lot better. But I mean, I'm going to talk to those guys. We're probably going to increase, some of the tattoo vendors next year. Kind of expand that a little bit more, do a lot more with it. I think we could say that we've got the Manchester confirmed for next year. If Adrian didn't want me to say that, then I'll probably get a text here in a minute. But so everything seems to be falling in line as far as, the venue's good. VIP party stuff is good for right now. We've got the floor kind of reset. We've got more space to work with next year. So as far as going out of 2024, lining up for Scarefest 16, I think we're in really good shape.
All right, everybody, we got a quick message from Rue Morgue, and then we'll be right back with more of our just little tossing things around tonight.
Are you a fan of horror movies, books, comics, music, and collectibles? Rue Morgue magazine is for you. Subscribe today to receive 6 or 12 print issues annually and join me, executive editor Andrea Subisati, on an ongoing journey through the horror genre of the past, present, and future. Plus, get access to unmissable special editions such as A Century of Witches, 50 Years of Gore Cinema, British horror movies, and so much more. Rue Morgue, the world's premier horror and culture and entertainment magazine since 1997. Accept no substitute.
And welcome everyone back to segment 2 of Scarefest Television for December 6, 2024. The council episode, which were one light. Adrian, once again, was under the weather, and I totally get it. There are like every respiratory virus going around. The hospital, they always gave you that questionnaire, Brandon. That's have you been exposed to COVID in the last 30 days? Now you can literally say, yeah, maybe. And they go, okay.
Yeah, I think it doesn't carry the same. I mean, I I go to like I think one weekend like I went to like 3 different cons and flew, and I was like, that's like the trifecta of like I'm going to get something, and I didn't, which was amazing. But then like the whole month after Scarefest, like my immune system is like right up there with like 110-year-old. Like it just doesn't hold up. Like I've been sick like 3 times at Scarefest. Not to mention like the day after the Christmas party, like I was moving my car around and I was walking back into the hotel and I made it like 5 foot and I just completely duffed it. Like I hit ice on the sidewalk, scorpioned right outside the door.
Ouch.
Yeah, face first. I've got teeth impressions like in my arm, like right here. And I'm too old for that jazz. Like I can't like a fall like that would have been nothing, like shake it off. At 45, I may as well like it may as well have been like 127 hours. Like I was about ready to cut my leg off just to get in the car.
See, now me, I'm kind of liking getting sick. I've lost like 10 pounds. So
I'm in the middle of my gaining weight back from Scarefest. So like I can only wear like stretchy pants and sweatpants for September, October, and November. And then December, I start to gain all the weight that I lost in those months. So like I'll fly all the way up like 2XL to large to like, yeah, no pants fit. Like, yeah, it's crazy. But now I'm selling back into double chin Brandon. So they go to the gym.
I'm enjoying my 10 pounds being gone. I'm actually thinking about going to the hospital and just like licking doorknobs just to keep the weight off at this point. I will tell the secret.
Go to Cowboys and lick doorknobs and let me know. Like that's if you really want to test your immune system.
It's possibility. It's possibility. The secret, Brandon, to losing weight: live on cough syrup. Basically, it gives you just enough sugar to keep you alive, but it kills your taste buds, and nothing tastes good except cough syrup, and it's a vicious cycle.
If I got to a point that I cared about my appearance that much, I mean, I would just start smoking crack, I guess.
Well, it's another option.
I mean,
it's another
that
option,
works.
but they have not approved medical crack yet in the state legislature, so this is where we are. So anyway, so we're putting that out there. Now that's another. Now I got a graphic at the bottom of the hour to share with everybody, but we do have. If everybody's not been paying attention, we do have our second. There you go. Load that graphic and we'll show you. We've got another vintage T-shirt. I believe this was Scarefest 5. Is that what I read, Brandon?
Yes, this is actually like one of my favorites, and I've got one that actually fits now until I gain all the weight back in December. It's like my favorite one. I'm going to order like 5 of them.
Well, you better go ahead and do it.
Yeah, because according to the ad, today was the deadline.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I want to increase it a little bit more. I haven't talked to Adrian about it, but if they could keep it going, I'd like to keep it going a little bit. I always miss out on like ordering stuff. Like I never get my own cool stuff, like stuff we put in. Like I never meet the guests that I want to meet. I don't get to get the signatures I want. I don't get the shirts. I always miss the cutoff dates. Like we gotta get my shit together here.
Well, you've got a whole year now to work on getting all your ducks in a row. I actually am not, for once, I'm not going to fuss about though you saying you had not worked on the website for the last 30 days because I was boring with a big auger. I had photo galleries going up on there, getting the pictures out there, and then I got sick and I didn't want to go near this computer until now, and I didn't really want to tonight. But my voice is back, so I'm out of excuses.
have to gear myself up to get back into like social media and stuff, and like it's just that month after, man, like that month of November is just like a blackout. Like as far as like social media and stuff for me, and like getting all that kind of stuff. Like we've been working like the whole time, but like everybody a lot of people forget that like as soon as Scarefest is over with, I get like 3 or 4 days afterward, and then I have to jump right back into my normal life and catch up on all the stuff that I missed while I was doing Scarefest. And so it's just kind of always something going on.
Well, between being sick, of course, my mother, everyone got injured. She's doing great, but then I keep forgetting every year that December I own a leather shop. We work in retail, and I make all these big plans for things I can do as I become a winter shut-in. I realize for a good month of the month of December, I'm not a winter shut-in. I'm lucky to be in the house.
Yeah, I got to go down and because I've been working like most of my stuff like during this time is once we figure out kind of what we're doing with the center and all that kind of stuff. Like I just start looking at like lineup stuff. Like I've got conspiracy theory like boards like around my house where like it's the only thing it's missing is like string tied around like names and like going off like this way, and it's pretty damn close. But like I've got like 2 whiteboards, and so like each of them are like literally like 4 foot wide, and I've just got stuff like everywhere. And like I sit here and just kind of like move stuff around, try to figure stuff out, and that's been the majority of my stuff like this month. And we've already gotten some folks booked, and now we got to start like working on fine tuning everything. And like the plan for me this year, I mean, we're going to keep it about the same, I think, as far as numbers. And I mentioned that in the postmortem, that I think that obviously we need to fortify the the logistics thing, because like it's a lot of people for Adrian to go after, and so getting her some help. But I'm still, I think we've got a good plan in play for that, and so I'm looking around the same amount of guests, man. In all honesty, still that round about that number. Obviously, making changes that we talked about in the postmortem, to accommodate lines and stuff and get more space. So, but yeah, all things considered.
Now you said we're targeting February 1st, basically, give or take, for ticket sales and stuff start going on sale. When do you plan on being able to start dropping names?
I think last year, I meant to look at this before we got on here tonight, because I could not remember right off. I think we started dropping names in January, and we started going from there. My plan right now is to get like one headliner announced in January, and start like New Year's Eve and just start fresh like January 1st, like do an announcement then, and then we've got enough to keep. We'll have enough announcements to do kind of like we did last year, where we just keep them going like all year long, like just bada bing, bada bing, bada bing. So announce a few guests so kind of folks can see the direction we're going in and what we're looking at in January, and then release the ticket sales and stuff February. That way, if there's somebody that we announce like that's a headliner, and people kind of see where we may be going. That gives them some time, like a month, to look at it and kind of decide which ticket level they want to jump in on. But I can tell you this year, from the looks of it, I mean, the VIP stuff is probably going to go as fast as it did last year, and we've already got one headliner in the done. So yeah, it's going to be a good year if I get everything that I'm looking at. I'm super excited. And so January, we'll start doing those drops is my plan.
Okay. Sounds like a plan, everybody. Now, if you have any questions, I am watching in the chat room. So I can actually see if you got anything you want to know about Scarefest. But we've come up with dates. We've come up with, I'm not asking for teasers yet. Brandon will be chomping at the bit to do that soon. We're not trying to tease anybody yet.
I'm chomping at it right now, actually. I'm sitting here looking at this and like knowing the conversations I've had. I mean, some people could it's, there's some big reunions that are coming up next year. And people obviously know that I'm fans of some of those reunions. And some of it's just stuff that I've been wanting to do for a while that we haven't got to yet.
Now, of course, I know this was actually something somebody did bring up in the chat room. Do we have any update on when they're going to tear up that parking lot for the new?
Oh, the actual. Oh shit. I don't know if you might as well get a magic 8-ball out at this point.
Okay. Yeah.
Unless somebody is like Nostradamus or has like some sort of inside information that I don't know about. I don't know when that parking lot's coming out. I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't know when I know they've got a good amount of like that amphitheater and stuff that they're building where the old parking lot used to be, the one that was free for like vendors and stuff.
Yeah.
The one that actually like saved everybody's butts and everybody could park. It's looking kind of nice back there, but I mean, it doesn't look as nice as a big, beautiful parking lot, but
yeah, excuse me. Let's go to the amphitheater behind the convention center. That doesn't even sound appealing to me.
I will tell you what right now though. When we were there, so this year, the only thing that I could think about, and this isn't like a hint or anything like that, but the only thing I could think about looking at that damn thing was Tim Capello playing saxophone during the Lost Boys. And that's the only thing that just kept going through my mind. That like, God, that would be freaking awesome. Like barrel fires and dirt. Like it's no beach. But
well, I have those.
I'm just saying. Well, yeah. They'll be a little bit of everything. But I just kept thinking, like, how badass would it be to have like an outdoor amphitheater and Tim Capello like going to town? Not a hint or an innuendo. I just think it would be badass.
But if anybody in the chat room can make that happen, because the oil drums will be there on fire. I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Because of the proximity of that to downtown and I'm just not, it's Christmas. I'm not going to go there. Let's go ahead and do our announcements. Okay. Once again, the Scarefest vintage t-shirts, Scarefest year 5 t-shirts are on sale for pre-order. You can order them. We've got it listed through today, but basically Brandon said we're going to drag your feet a little bit. Worldofstrange.com is doing this for us. Worldofstrange.com. And you can find the link on our Facebook page, on our Facebook business page. But if you're interested in a vintage Scarefest t-shirt, reprinted in modern, whatever the hell you want to call it, that's what we're up to right now. The Central Kentucky Mystical Market is next weekend. That is December 14th and 15th at the Clarion Hotel. Go to scarefestweekend.com and there's a link right there, or you can go to centralkymysticalmarket.com and find out more. But it is coming up next weekend. And our last thing we want to remind you of, coming up February 15th, the Caribbean Carnival. The Caribbean Carnival at the Clarion Hotel. Come join us for a night of tropical fun and excitement Saturday, February 15th at 7:30 p.m. Sip on refreshing cocktails, dance the night away to the rhythmic beats of Caribbean music. Don't forget to dress in your best Caribbean-inspired outfit to truly immerse yourself in the festivities. Whether you're looking to unwind and relax or party the night away, the Caribbean Carnival has something for everyone. Now, I've got to decide, is my normal Hawaiian fare, is that going to be Caribbean enough to keep everybody, keep me in the know?
I was just there thinking, I've got a kick-ass, like, fruit hat, like, I could break out, like Carmen Miranda. And, like, that would be the perfect event.
Yeah, it would. It would.
I mean, I think I could rock that.
But, I mean, I guess, Hawaiians are not Caribbean, but, I mean, I don't know. I have to do research. I have to look into it, find out what they wear down there. I got straw hats.
I've got plenty of those. I've got a straw hat that Brett Wagner got for me from a lawnmower show that he was at. I've still got it. I'm dying to break that thing out.
Thongs and feathers. Jake says thongs and feathers. Now, when you say thongs, Jake, are we talking thongs from my day when they were sandals? Or are we talking thongs from you modern kids with the little skimpy shoestring underwear?
I've got all those things, and I look good in all of them. I'm just saying.
Good in the little thong shoestring underwear?
I mean, it depends. Yeah, I think Nicole would like it.
Well, I shall be staying away from that, sir. But I do have to decide when I'm going to do my winter beer. I was going to keep it going through Lexington Comic and Toy Con, and I don't know if I want to go to the Caribbean Carnival with a Santa beer. See, I've always got decisions to make. Everybody thinks his job is so easy.
It's a hard, yeah. I mean, it's a hard decision to make. I mean, but you've got some time. You got a little bit of time.
It'll be here before you know. And I say that because I don't remember there being a November. It just doesn't exist, and December is quickly ticking away. And I'm looking for January.
No, November's a blackout. We actually, I got to go to the first time I've ever been, Spooky Empire. We got to go to it and check it out. Now, and we had a lot of our vendors were there. I was able to get my Friday Night Poster signed, which was awesome because we had some like some of the same guests that were there. I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it. I'm looking for some more to hit up here pretty soon, and I think like I've anybody that knows me, like I've told you for like a while, like I love going to shows. It's like one of my favorite things. And I love like when we are able to set up at shows. And so my goal is to try and set up basically like a memorabilia, like be a vendor and sell some of the stuff that we collect and toys and things like that, and kind of do it in combination with the online store stuff. So if anybody's got any shows that I'm kind of looking around right now at some shows. Now, granted, a lot of promoters don't like other shows to promote at their show or get booths. And that's not what I plan on doing. So, but again, it gets a little bit wonky because, not everybody plays well together. We get along mostly with everybody, I think, anyway. So I'm looking forward to like doing some vending and getting out and like, one of my favorite things is like when I'm set up at the vendor show, like at another show, and we've got like our vendors around and everything. It's just fun. And then one show that we did last year, it was just a Scarefest booth. Like at one point I just got, I don't want to say bored, but it was kind of slow in the room. And so I just went outside and like grabbed every shirt that I had, and I came back inside and like dumped them on the table. And then just wrote a big sign that said free shirts. I was like, I'm just going to put this as marketing. And dude, the table ran out in like 10 minutes solid. I talked to like 100 people in like 10 minutes.
People like free shit. People do like free shit.
People do like free shit.
That's now they're in the chat room suggesting cons. Have we thought any more about doing like Galaxy Con? We did the one in Louisville when they had it in Louisville, but
I was actually looking at that.
Killed it off.
Yeah, because like I'm amazed. Like going in and looking at it, like I was really because I've done my due diligence, the last couple of years, and I hadn't looked at it yet this year yet, and I was just in there kind of looking and seeing like what shows were coming up and how much the tables were, and I was just like, holy crap! Like I'm reminded that vending ain't cheap. So like you look at some of those shows, man, their table prices are just crazy. But I would love to do a Galaxy Con. Like, I need to see when the next one's coming up close because I want to be able to drive to it, of course. So I mean, like probably one in Ohio. I think they just did Columbus. I mean, those guys are pretty much everywhere. I'd like to do Fanboy Knoxville next year just because I've never been to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be kind of fun if they would let me get in there.
I know a lot of people from down there.
Yeah, I don't know the promoters that do Fanboy. I know that sometimes we book kind of the same people, and they have refused to release a couple people that we wanted, even though like they're 3 hours away, and it was like 90 days out. But it is what it is.
Okay, GalaxyCon Columbus is this weekend. I'm going to say that one is. We're going to do a strikeout on that. Probably.
Yeah, you can mark that one off the list. I thought that shit. I thought that already happened. But there's some more coming up, and like I know one show that we're hitting up. Like we're going to go to. I think me and Joe and a few of us were talking about going to Days of the Dead in Atlanta because they're doing like 3 shows in Atlanta now, which I well at least 2. Which I mean, and then you got Mad Monster down there too. But I think I always go to Days of the Dead in Atlanta, like usually in the February show, and that's usually fun. There are a lot of our VIPs are down there, a lot of our vendors, so it's a good show. I don't know if Bill and them would let me vend there. I guess we'll find out.
Barbara James suggested Milwaukee Horror Con in March. And I'm going to tell you, March is a deadly month already.
Oh, shoot. Barbara texted me. Barbara, I'm sorry. That is my fault. You texted me and I forgot to text you back. I will do that tonight when we get off here. I'm horrible at messages right now, worse than normal. So, like, everybody, please bear with me.
Like, I haven't heard. If it went for tonight's show, I haven't heard from Brandon since week after. When did we move to the center? That was.
Well, I mean, it's not because I'm being an a-hole, but like this time of the year, like everybody's got to remember, like I go straight out of Scarefest, and then when you're in social work, man, holidays are you go straight out of like October into Thanksgiving and December, and like everything that we have to do on that business end of it like is accelerated way more during the holidays. So we're kind of all over the place. So yeah, Barbara, I apologize.
All right, everybody, let's go ahead and check out Bonehead Weekly's contribution to this week.
Oh, what?
So let's go down a Goosebumps hole, shall we? I am not a huge fan of Goosebumps. R.L. Stine, I read some of the Fear Street and Choose Your Own Way before he ever even got into Goosebumps, but I know some of you of a certain age and you just love them and worship them. There was a series in the 90s. 2015 had a Jack Black movie. It's not bad. I went back and rewatched it with my kid, and my kid likes some spooky things. My kid's name is Quinn, and he likes spooky, and so we try to figure out what can we watch together and what can you introduce him to. So what we did is we started the new 2013, and the new series will come out in January 10th, the second series, for Goosebumps on Disney+. This show is actually created by Rob Letterman and Nicholas Stoller. Rob Letterman actually directed several of the episodes and is one that directed the 2015 Goosebumps. I feel like all the other Goosebumps are meant for children, or at least 12 and 13 and under. This one to me is much more YA, young adult. My kid got really into it, which I couldn't fathom why, because I thought a lot of it was a little bit over his head. And frankly, there was some of it that I wish we just kind of didn't, but he didn't ask a lot of questions, and I didn't want to have to explain a lot, and that's okay. Can you watch it with your kid? Yeah, it's okay. Justin Long's in it, always playing Justin Long type characters. And basically what it is it's one of those Rashomon where it tells you the first story, and then you go back over the next 3 or 4 episodes, figuring out other people's and how they've worked into that, all the main characters. Not necessarily retelling the story, but telling it from their perspective. And then you kind of get it all, it kind of congeals and then moves on from there. And there's a lot of the things that you expect to happen that happen in it. Like you can't have Goosebumps, I guess, without Slappy. My kid and I both think that dummies, the actual talking dummies, not the people you meet out on the street, are just weird. Just like clowns. It's not that I'm scared of them, I'm just weird. It's just not as kid friendly as the movie and the original series. We went back and watched some of the original series. I'd never seen it. That probably, if you have a small child, much more up their alley, depending on, because as a parent, hopefully you know what your kid can and can't watch as far as they can handle. The Goosebumps movie from 2015, directed by Rob Letterman, totally something that you can watch with your children. If they are okay with just a little bit of spooky, like a little bit of werewolves and really bad CGI, then yes, my son doesn't have a problem. But also, I was showing my son the transformation scenes from American Werewolf in London, because we went down a rabbit hole with Thriller, and he got into the transformation, and I explained, he's my son. He knows who Rick Baker is. That being said, I didn't show him the whole movie because I don't even get to, he had repeats and I don't even hear the language, but he likes it. So my son's probably a little bit more, he's okay with a lot of this stuff. Know your child. Goosebumps, the series, 2023, not a bad family show. So it's a good show. I think it's a little heavy-handed in certain places, but it's not bad. Some of the acting, but it's very much a young adult. It's a YA. So if your kid is into those YA novels or books, or they read a lot and they're totally into it, then they should watch Goosebumps, the show. And it's on Disney Plus. The new season comes out in January. I didn't think it was terrible. Could they have cut a couple of, you hear me say this all the time, could they have cut some couple episodes out of it? Yeah. But my kid really enjoyed it. And that's what matters, is trying to find something that you can watch as a family. Because watching a Serbian film with your family, not a good idea. I also have never showed my kid The Evil Dead or some other stuff. Although, I'm thinking, maybe Army of Darkness? What do you all think? Should you check out Goosebumps, the series, 2023 on Disney Plus? Yes. Watch it as a family. Do some bonding. It's cold outside. Have some hot chocolate. If you have a fireplace, do that. And watch some spooky, as my kid calls it. Because that's a good word. Watch some spooky entertainment. And have fun with your family. This has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly.
I suggest Slaughterhouse for family viewing. I think a young kid would love that.
Scarlett hates Slaughterhouse, and I love it. And I only let her watch like maybe the first 5 minutes of it, where the sloth like kills the alligator. Hey Scarlett, give me a thumbs up if you like Slaughterhouse. I think it's awesome. She didn't like it, but it's mostly just to disagree with me, though, I think. Anyway, let me tell you something about Joe Lewis that I just learned this past weekend. And other than the fact that I just noticed that he kind of reminds me of John Wick, which was a conversation that we got into at the Clarion. And you guys let me know what you think about this, because it still is rubbing me the wrong way. He pronounces Keanu Reeves Keanu. And he did it in a circle of all of us. And I thought I was having a stroke. And then other people heard it too. And they were all just like, what are you saying? And he's like, Keanu Reeves. And I was like, that's wrong. Like, stop saying it like that. And it elicited like an entire 45-minute conversation. But I'm sure nobody else is going to find it as funny as we did. But if you see Joe, tell him he's pronouncing it wrong and that it's aggravating when he pronounces it the way he does.
In the chat room, Jake says, she plays with possums but doesn't like sloths. That sounds wrong.
She doesn't like evil sloths. Okay, that's where she draws the line.
I would
the
call him
sloth was-
mischievous. I would just say mischievous. He's not evil.
I mean, he's kind of a murdering sloth.
But he had reason.
I'm not saying he was not provoked.
See?
But she doesn't like her sloths to slaughter things, I guess. She prefers them to be slow and non-menacing.
Okay, well.
To each and to their own.
To each, yeah. We will try to get around that. Now, everybody, next week, hopefully you'll get to enjoy Brandon again, because next week is our annual holiday episode for the show. Because this year we moved it up. It was suggested we move it up to coincide with Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. So, that will be our holiday episode where all the hosts come on, and the one time I let everybody, including Brandon, drink on the air. Because usually it just goes sideways when that happens. But we do allow that for a holiday episode.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to do a lot. I mean, to get fired.
That's what I keep telling her. But yeah, and everyone, if you're wondering, I come on and I tell the rich history of the Scarefest holiday episode, how it all began, and basically, which was started me and Ken Boggle drinking on the air, and then Chris Sutton joined in, and it just became a thing after that. So we got that going on next week. I did want to remind everybody about that, but because Barbara likes a structured event, she has all these plans. We're going to have like trivia and contests and stuff. Yeah, it is. She's got some good ideas.
Barbara always has good ideas, I've found. And I'm looking forward to it. And like, I forgot that Mystical Market's next weekend, so I guess that'll coincide very well, I think.
There you go. It'll be a big send off to the big weekend.
As long as I keep from falling and like breaking anything.
It's supposed to be a beautiful, beautiful week. Beautiful week. Compared to what we've had. Anyway. So, anything else we need to tell the people about Scarefest before we let them go? We've got ticket sales going on in February, everybody. We'll start dropping names next month. We know nothing about parking yet, and that's...
You're giving me anxiety talking about parking this early, man. It's December, the year before. Like, come on. So the big things, like, we're following through on the merch stuff. Like, I'm really excited about that Scarefest 5 shirt, and I'm going to get off here. I'm going to order a bunch, actually. And then once we get our online store up, which I'm hoping to get up before Christmas, and then if you're at Mystical Market, I'm going to try and I did some restructuring of the hats, and I've got a couple ones. These are the glasses with blood on them, but we didn't have any of these. And then all the staff, like, really liked my blood splattered Kentucky glasses. So I'm going to try and make a few of these and get them up. I'm kind of excited about those. I've been sporting this hat now for like 30 days, and it's different from the ones that we had at the show. So I didn't get these patches in until afterwards. But yeah, everybody seems to like it. And I've got to give Adam a new hat because he's still wearing like the plushy skull, and it just doesn't go with his personality.
Well, everybody, this has been Scarefest TV for December of 2024. We're going to call it a night now. We didn't have a lot to share with you, but we wanted to come on and include you in where we are in the planning process. Adrian, hope you feel better. Just solidarity and all that good stuff. And we will see you next week.